we don't need a Huntington as a CEO. We need folks who live and breathe Huntington. But as you know, in franchising, every franchisee is an individual owner. So they are the owner operator of their location. And the cool part is that many of our franchisees have gone through generational transition as well, be it that they've passed their centers down to their children or to their center directors. So we have tremendous success stories across the system.
So your parents started Huntington early on, right? So what was that, how when did you get involved in the company, and what was that like growing up in an environment in a family business? Because that's so unique.
Good question. So I like to say I'm center number 17. So if they weren't opening centers, they had a child. I have a brother who's about 4 or 5 years older than I am, depending on where we are in the year. So I'm center number 17. So Huntington has always been part of what we do and who we are as a family. And I was a student of Huntington. I was in the marketing campaigns in the 90s, quintessential 90s. And then I worked in our call center. And then I got experience outside of the family business for about a decade. It was important for me not to have a boss's name that is my maiden name, and the boss not being Mom or Eileen at work. So I had a whole career outside of Huntington. And then about 10 or so years ago, it might have actually been 10 years ago this year, had a conversation with my parents who at work, I call them Eileen and Ray. And we were going through a rebranding, and I came in more so as a consultant. And then, like anything I do, I jumped right in and went through our training program, refreshed myself with the franchisees, what was going on, what needed to happen. And over the past 10 years, have worked my way from consultant to now board member and president. So in a family business, yes, it's rewarding. It's also very challenging. And it can be a blessing. It can also be a curse. Nevertheless, I always look at it as a blessing because I'm able to continue the legacy with an awesome team and amazing franchisees to ensure that we can continue to build on the foundation that my parents started almost 50 years ago. That said, we don't need a Huntington as a CEO. We need folks who live and breathe Huntington. We are helping families across the country, and so it is nice also that we have the Huntington family at the helm. But as you know, in franchising, every franchisee is an individual owner. So they are the owner operator of their location. And the cool part is that many of our franchisees have gone through generational transition as well, be it that they've passed their centers down to their children or to their center directors. So we have tremendous success stories across the system with that. But it's fun to be able to work with my parents, and we're very much aligned. My brother was in the business and he exited the business during COVID, but he's still active in franchising.
If you enjoyed this short clip from the podcast, you can check out another short clip right here. Or if you want to watch the full episode of this podcast, you can watch that here. And remember, knowledge is not power. It's applied knowledge that's power. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.